Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. You just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Isn't this fun? This glorious venture into new quarterback, taking his first preseason snaps, lighting it up in the third quarter. Isn't this, it's refreshing, isn't it?
It's the excitement. It's like you go, meet a gal, you go on that first date.
It is.
It goes well, and you get home, and you're all just excited
You're
and
texting
enamored.
each other.
And you're just, you
hang up. No, you
hang up.
No, you hang up.
You throw a pass. No, you throw a pass.
hang
No,
up.
you throw a pass. Throw it to Tristan Jackson again. Can you do that for me?
Yeah. Can you throw that little third down pass to Nick Muse again?
It is a breath of fresh air. I'm not going to lie. It's a complete breath of fresh air.
So we're gonna, the episode from yesterday where we recapped the morning after JJ McCarthy's preseason debut, easily the most consumed episode of Purple Daily, I think, since the draft. So people are fired up. He obviously threw an interception. There was a couple hiccups, but generally looked excellent in his preseason debut. So we're going to get into some more. In fact, Judd has charted and ranked all 17 of JJ McCarthy's passes, right? He was 11 for 17.
Yes, and it's worst to first. So
I ranked the handoffs, by the way, if you
all 17. Well, and there were the 2 scrambles as well.
Are we counting those in the rankings?
No.
Okay.
I decided to just go 17 passes.
Okay. I mean, those are dropbacks if you wanted to do 19 dropbacks.
Well, and we can break them down. Like I watched them back.
Yeah.
So they could definitely be broken down.
So, and then I have a take too. So we're going to get into all of it. Call it a Judd and Phil's Camp Notes bonus edition off of the weekend here. But Quick Trip is a place, if you're looking to feel refreshed, some gasoline, some snacks to start your week, Quick Trip is the place.
You talk about being excited. Look at this. Now, if you are watching this right now, you are getting a recap, an encapsulation of everything that Quick Trip has to offer. And you know what's important about this? Quick Trip has everything that you could possibly need. Convenience store? Sure. Convenience. Fast, friendly. Everyone there is great. But here's the other thing, too. It's basically going to the grocery store. What if I told you that you could, guys, cut out going to the grocery store and you could go to Quick Trip instead? Well, that's the case. Gasoline, great food, everything. And with the app, you don't even have to go in. You can come pick it up curbside. I mean, how much easier could Quick Trip make your life? So check out Quick Trip as we get into an era of celebrating Quick Trip and JJ McCarthy.
I took a drive up to the North Shore on Saturday. I had a wedding up there, up north.
Oh.
Numerous Quick Trips. Had to stop at a couple Quick Trips up there and on the way back. Great area. Great spot. Love me some Quick Trip.
Oh, Quick Trip we know is a great area. We also know that you hate the North Shore and do you just hate Duluth?
Bingo.
So you're okay with where were you along the North Shore?
We were technically in Tufty, and then we stayed in Lutsen. We were 5 minutes
Great
up
area.
the road.
Jeez. Great area.
That area, love that area.
I love all of that area, including Duluth.
That area is good.
Duluth, we love
all of Purple Daily territory.
Yes, all of it. Tufty represents.
What are we becoming, the Twins?
The Purple Daily universe.
Purple Daily territory. Hey, fans, if you're part of Purple Daily territory.
You know, before Judd ranks the 17 not completely pass attempts by JJ McCarthy, and then we got some stuff on defense. I have some edge rusher takes I want to run by you. I was thinking about this morning. If they nailed this pick, and just because he performed the way that he did on Saturday doesn't mean that they nailed it. But there's a lot of really positive signs, great infrastructure. We've been documenting it through Judd's Camp Notes the entire summer here. If they nailed this pick, I think this is the first time the Vikings will be dealing from a position of organizational quarterback strength in 15 years. And I define that by when you're operating within the NFL's salary cap system. It's I've been glued to the Olympics and watching all these track and field events. Okay, everyone in the relays, for instance, you're starting in the same spot, even though you're staggered. And imagine if one of the 8 relay teams had a rocket pack strapped. They had tanks of Nas or whatever, right? And you get a 10-second head start. Mm-hmm. That's the Chiefs. So everyone starts with the same salary cap, but the Chiefs have a godlike quarterback. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what he makes. He just financially. If you have a godlike quarterback, you have an edge on the rest of the league, right? The other way that you can get an edge is if you have a really good quarterback who makes no money. That's another way for you to start the relay race, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds ahead of everyone else. The Vikings have been stuck in the third category, which we've talked about for years on this show, which is you have a good quarterback that makes godlike money, and he doesn't give you an advantage when it comes to roster building. Roster building advantages, godlike quarterback or quarterback who's good, who makes no money on a rookie scale deal.
Right.
The last time the Vikings had either one of those things, I think, was 2009 Brett Favre, because he was a godlike quarterback. He was one of the three best guys in the league. He's a magician at the line of scrimmage, making big throws down the field. They tried to go good but cheap with Tavares before Favre. They tried with Ponder. They tried with Teddy, and they got to the playoffs one year, but then his leg blew up.
Yeah.
So, like, they haven't been operating in either Category 1 or Category 2 for much more than maybe the 1 year of Teddy Bridgewater when they went to the playoffs since 2009. And if they nailed this pick and he is maybe he becomes, top 3 guy in the league at some point. I'm just saying, what if he's really good, top like 8 to 12 quarterback who makes no money? He will take up 2% of your salary cap on average for the next 4 years, while the top quarterbacks in the league take up 14, 15, 18% of their team's caps. That's how you get to start the race 5, 10, 15 seconds ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. And if you go back to Favre, too, like we all knew that was going to be a shooting star situation. Like we knew.
Yeah, one and done.
One, maybe two. It didn't get to two. We tried, but, 1, 2, and done. And so, yeah, so it's probably fair to actually draw this comparison to what in the current salary cap era. So like the CBAs, so starting with, I think it was 2011, correct? When there was a off-season lockout. Oh my God, the
uncapped year.
The NFL's on strike, but then we came back with the draft. I think that's the first year that the draft then came back with slotted positions. So like until then, Sam Bradford could get paid $50 million off the bat. So like in the era of, okay, you actually have the advantage of your quarterback can be as good as he wants to be. He only can get paid X amount for essentially 5 years. And that's the thing now, but it's interesting because the Mahomes thing to me is twofold. And this is where you hope the Vikings got it right, not only with the quarterback, but with the people that are bringing the quarterback along, McCarthy in this case. Mahomes sat for a year, then he played on a rookie contract, and he was damn good off the bat. But then they got 4 years of control, like total control. And then he becomes a superstar, and it's like, oh, we'll pay you now for sure. Like, that's my question. And this is where, and I've already seen like the bickering, pissed off Packer fans, Jordan Love is way better than McCarthy. Okay, I don't know about that. What I do know about is
Thor was stirring that pot.
But Packers fans, you literally have walked him into this contract, and you're not positive he deserves it. So like, this is, how do you raise the quarterback? And I do think you really need to play him by year 2 to maximize what you're talking about, Phil, which is you graduate him into that massive contract, knowing full well when he gets it, you are paying a guy that deserves to be paid, i.e. Mahomes.
Let me further illustrate what you're talking about. Like, Jordan Love is a great example, because Jordan Love almost for free is a great asset. Jordan Love with a 9-game sample size for $55 million is a huge question mark in a capped league. Obviously, you have limitations on resources. So if I could illustrate that track and field, let's call it, Declan, you like the 400? What was 400. The event? You like the 400.
Yeah.
Let's line up 32 NFL teams on the starting line. Imagine it's like a straight line for visual. So it's 32 NFL franchises all in a straight line, and they're all going to run straight for 400 meters. Kansas City Chiefs, you get to take 10 giant steps forward because you have the greatest quarterback of all time. That's where you start the race in this salary capped 400 meter dash. Okay. Let's see. Houston Texans. You have a really good quarterback who makes no money in CJ Stroud. So you don't get to take 10 steps forward because you don't have quite the advantage that the Chiefs have with the greatest quarterback of all time. but you get to take 5 giant steps forward. Give me a team with a crappy quarterback situation, like the New Orleans Saints. You're paying Derek Carr, who's like the 22nd best quarterback in the league right now, a bunch of money. You actually have to take 4 steps backwards from the starting line. But if you're the Vikings right now, at worst, at least you start on the starting line because you're not like hamstrung by a really bad quarterback. Maybe if you're the Falcons now with Kirk Cousins, you get to stay on that starting line, but you don't have the advantage that the Texans have or the advantage that the Chiefs have. But if you nailed this pick, you get to take 5 steps forward. And if you really nailed this pick like the Chiefs, you get to take 10 steps forward and race the rest of the league in that 400. That's how I visualize NFL roster building.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I do think this. So, like, worst case, I think McCarthy can be developed into a really solid player. Like superstar Mahomes, I don't know. Probably not. The odds are long. That's very difficult. And there's Mahomes is in a quarterback penthouse as far as I'm concerned right now by himself. But JJ McCarthy, to me, when you watch him, when you watch the attitude, when you watch how he plays, there are certain things where you're like, you know what, this guy has the it factor that he is going to be, if nothing else, very solid and at his best, probably damn good. So, like, this is where, but as we talked about on the Sunday show, Phil, if you now take McCarthy, if the Patriots called you today and said, hey, we will send you Drake May because we think we drafted a bust here, and you send us McCarthy, I think Drake May would come here and have equally as good a chance to succeed because of that infrastructure.
Yep.
Dex,
yep.
And no, you're good. And the track metaphor works too, especially in like a relay where typically like your starter, the first guy that's going to take the baton off the gun is you're going to be your second fastest guy in that 4-some relay. And your fastest guy is typically your last. So translating that into football, the start is incredibly important here too for the Vikings. And whether that's JJ being on the bench to start the season, whatever that is when JJ does begin, the Vikings maximizing that rookie contract during that window is huge. To your point about the Texans, they can go spend money on Stephon Diggs and Danielle Hunter, and they have a great roster now that might be able to compete with the Chiefs with the second-year quarterback in Stroud. Same thing with the Vikings. They have to get off to a good start with that rookie deal before, obviously, it does balloon into a big contract that we get to talk about 4 years from now.
But that's the thing. Like, if you nailed this pick, you get to pair him now making 2% of the salary cap with Justin Jefferson and Christian Darrisaw for the next 5, maybe more years. You get to marry JJ McCarthy up with, and he hasn't even really thrown to Jefferson yet or been protected by Christian Darrisaw yet, save for like 6 snaps in training camp. Because he's been working exclusively with the number 2 offense. So that's another thing I heard from Saturday, which is, but he was going up against the Raiders' number 1 defense for part of it.
The pick was, a starter. Jones, he's a starter.
But he's also throwing to, he made Tristan Jackson a household name among casual Vikings fans.
Yeah.
He hasn't even thrown to Justin Jefferson yet.
Yeah, and O'Connell would tell us right now to slow down, you knuckleheads. It's not there yet, and that's fine. But where what Kevin doesn't get is it's so rare that we have seen like this, like, oh, this looks, and this goes back to Phil practices too. So this is not like we didn't just duck in on Saturday's game. Oh man, this is unbelievable in a preseason game. Yeah. Like everything we have seen. They have been growing him. He's been improving. I talked to you guys in the spring. I'm like, some of those passes are really not good. I mean, there's some issues here. Those have been fixed, which means he must be a quick study. So like this is a process that we have not been really privy to in this town when it comes to a drafted QB since Culpepper matured into and was an MVP candidate in 2004. Like we haven't seen this.
Yep. So yeah, it's refreshing. It's fun to watch, and I think again, I use the word "if" in my hypothesis here. If they nailed the pick, we don't know that they nailed the pick yet.
Yes.
Early returns. If this is it's Judd's election year, and precincts are
reporting
McCarthyism
in 24.
McCarthyism. Yes.
Did you ever support Sam Darnold?
I'm a Darnold.
Did you ever support McCarthyism? Did you ever support that?
Poor Darnold. Darnold had a nice drive up until it stalled inside the 5-yard line.
He did. This is the most excited I've been about a drafted Vikings QB since the since the ill-fated opener at U.S. Bank Stadium, the afternoon game, preseason. Chargers and Teddy went off and looked great. I think it was his third year by then. I think it was 16. Like that
it was
game,
right before he
got hurt. But I mean, that game, I remember, like it looked like it was clicking.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the most excited I've been about a drafted. Like if I was to mark the times I've been excited, genuinely excited about a Vikings drafted QB since 2000, that's one of the few times where I'm like, okay, there might be something here that's real.
Yeah. So, okay, how are we going about this exercise of ranking the 17 throws? I don't have all 22 film to show because this is also an audio production.
I'll blow through it too. Through it. So what I did last night was I sat down and watched the two scrambles, which will not be part of this, and all 17 throws. And then I said to myself, how am I going to rank these? And I said, hold on a second. You're Judd Zolgad, former lead beat writer to Star Tribune for the Vikings. A man who's been watching this team since 1978. You don't got to apologize to nobody for how you're going to rank these things.
Oh, so you're a little insecure that you might have ranked these out of order, or what?
Oh, no. I'm saying I'm confident. There's a lot of hubris here that I think I have perfectly.
Sounds like you had to give yourself a pep talk.
All
though. There. Sounds
17.
like you might have had a little self-doubt.
Well, I had to remind myself. I had to remind myself where I came from.
Staring in the mirror and pointing at yourself.
Of the Star Tribune when I was the lead beat writer. Chip and I were on the beat. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna start at the bottom. Excuse me, I'm getting choked up here, and work our way to the top. 17 throws. I'm gonna break things down with if it was an under center or shotgun. I'll give you the series. I believe I've got all of the situations as well. Okay, so it's not just hey, this throw was bad.
Unprecedented.
Okay.
People, by the way, people loved your play-by-play of the 2-minute drill. You did that a couple times for practice notes, Judd's camp notes last week.
Yeah.
I got 3 text messages from friends who listened to the show. Like it was Kyle Tigey was one. Kyle's like, that was legitimately riveting content. Judd just going through the play-by-play log of the 2-minute drill from Sam Darnold. And so you're going to get it for a preseason game.
For 17 McCarthy passes. All right, we'll start at the bottom of the list. 17 is not going to surprise a person. I think 1 might surprise you. 17 won't. Shotgun, possession 1. Of course, last play of possession 1. JJ McCarthy is in the pocket, feels pressure, rolls to his right. That's not the problem. I actually like the fact that he can roll a bit. I'll get back to that in a second. But then he leaves his feet, which he has a tendency to do. Yeah. But he trusts his arm, and so he throws a pass for Tristan Jackson. That is, the route is jumped. It's picked off by Jack Jones. Now that came on a 3rd and 8 from the Vegas 44-yard line in the second quarter. First thing I saw was, oh, it's just like a punt. That's akin to a punt. Okay, first of all, this is preseason. JJ McCarthy's working on stuff. Nobody is saying 3rd and 8. Okay, he didn't make it, but the second thing I pointed out as well is that is not akin to a punt. If you're talking about a deep ball being thrown that's picked off like near downfield, this is a route that could have been jumped enough to lead to a touchdown. Like it was
like a shanked punt. It was like a shanked
right,
punt.
Yeah, but I mean it's not like we're not trying to practice, oh, it's 3rd and 8, I'll just throw caution to the wind. I guarantee you O'Connell's not like, that's okay, kiddo, it's just like a punt. The other thing though is O'Connell got into this throw in the press conference and explained it. And one of the things he said was basically before McCarthy rolled right, he said that is what we call an NFL pocket. In other words, do not assume that, and this, Phil, this gets to the heart of your point about the offensive line. That was their fault. It's not how these guys see it. An NFL pocket is a collapsing, it's a landslide. So O'Connell's point was he can throw from there. He does not need to roll out. You do not need to abandon ship the second that it's like, well, at Michigan, I had a pocket. I thought that was really intriguing because that, again, it's interesting how the fans and we can sometimes say, well, that was the offensive line's fault. They're not saying that. They're saying it's going to break down. You've got to keep the pocket, the integrity. Yes. That's up to you.
This is something that Alex Boone has just opened our eyes to because, he actually played in the NFL for 10 years in the trenches. And how many times will he reference, if you're a tight end or a running back and there's a blitzer and your job is to just die a slow death, or if a 250-pound edge rusher is coming around on a stunt or a twist, and it's your job to just throw him off his base enough for the quarterback to step up and make a throw. It's not going to look Michigan perfect. Michigan versus some directional school in September.
Amen.
That's not how it works in the National Football League, where those guys are being paid $20 to $30 million to destroy you.
Yep. So just recall that a pocket that's not clean, just because it's not clean doesn't mean it's not a pocket. All right. Number 16.
I love that we're doing this.
Under center, possession 3, play action fake, rolls left, and overthrows Trent Sherfield on 1st and 10 from his own 40-yard line. Why is this 16? Because if you go back and watch it, the mechanics were lazy.
Yeah.
This is where, you know what, dude, you got a great arm, and that's awesome. But you, and yes, at times you're going to cheat the system and you're going to win. But in that case, his footwork didn't look great. He sort of got out of sync and he threw the ball. Now, it didn't get picked, so it's not a disaster. But this was throw 16 on my list because I thought it was as much on him mechanically as any other factor on the field at that moment.
Yep. And he's still cleaning up mechanics, still cleaning up some of the sloppiness.
He's got to learn when he can trust his, it's funny that his arm strength was not going into the draft talked about a ton, because when you watch his arm strength, he literally is making passes at times he shouldn't make because his arm's so strong. Mm-hmm. I don't know how we decided he didn't throw a lot, so that must mean he's got an arm that's not strong.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is where you trust, I don't know, NFL teams that valued him as a top 10 pick, or guys like Thor that watch every snap throughout multiple years of college. Just because it was a small sample size doesn't mean he can't make the NFL throws. But at the same time, I would say this too. At some point, once he builds a better mechanical base, then he can build on top of that and make more of these freelance throws off base, as they say.
Off schedule?
Off schedule, off base. But you can't start your career doing that without some sort of reference point or roots. So, okay.
Exactly right. All right.
We're 15.
Number 15. Under center, possession 1. Play action again, which, by the way, is going to become a theme, which I absolutely love, because it means that the run game is going to have to be a credible threat. Play action, attempts to throw it to CJ Ham, but it's a poorly thrown ball. 1st and 10.
Rough.
1st and 10. The ball was at the Raiders' 46, second quarter. That probably falls into the Sherfield pass as well. It's a pass that McCarthy completed often on Saturday, that he should complete. It was just a rough-looking play.
It was, that was, I might have put that one even 16th. That was my, because that's one that's going to happen in the NFL where you're rolling out. And by the way, the play is designed for a free runner to come at you, and it's your job to get rid of the ball, get it over the defender. And so, I mean, something to work on there, I guess.
14. Shotgun, possession 6. This was originally called a fumble, and upon a quick review became an incomplete pass. He was going to try to throw the ball to Sherfield and lost the ball, 3rd and 1 in that case, at the Raiders' 43, third quarter. I might like to see that be a run play, but that's just a breakdown. That happens. It's not some terrible play. So it's not, there's not something, I don't know that there is something from that you can glean a ton from a coaching standpoint. Again, I might like to see a run ordinarily there, but that is number 14.
Okay.
Lost ball.
Okay.
13, from the shotgun, possession 4. Short incompletion for N'Keal Harry in the second quarter from the Vikings 22 on 1st and 10. It's just an incompletion.
Again, he's throwing to
a
converted wide receiver who's a bust of a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
N'Keal Harry has a family. I'm not here to dunk on him, but let's take it into context.
Number 12, shotgun, possession 5. Pass over the middle on 2nd and 9 from the Vikings 40, incomplete for Sherfield, third quarter. I don't think there's nothing wrong with this pass. It just didn't work, and so that's why it's not near the bottom of my list.
Yeah, it's hard to complete 100% of your passes in the National Football League.
Yep. All right, number 11, shotgun, possession 3. quick hitting pass to Sherfield for 5 yards from the Vikings 40-yard line on 2nd and 10, second quarter. Quick drop back and then just a pass. Bang, it's out. I actually like this play a lot. The design of this play to me is perfect. So it's not super sexy. It didn't get you a ton of yards. That being said, I could see this easily being a fundamental part of the offense, especially with McCarthy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep digging through here because
Number
I've got
10.
takes. I've got takes on some of these, but we're not there yet.
Number 10, shotgun, possession 6. Short left to Sherfield for 8 yards on 2nd and 9 from midfield, third quarter. Nice play again. Number 9, shotgun, possession 4. This is where we're starting to get into the sexy stuff. Scramble, rolls out right, 5-yard pass on the run to Kene Wongwu on 3rd and 6 in the second quarter, showing the ability to make plays with his feet as well as his arm. I love this play.
They punted after that, or was that where they went? Because they went for it.
No, they punted. I think. Yeah,
they punted. The
yeah,
touchdown
5
came
yards,
after
you
a
needed
4th and
6,
2.
but I love this play. I love this play. All right, number 8, shotgun, possession 4, screen completion. Declan, I just said screen to Wongwu for 4 yards from the Vikings 22 on 2nd and 10 in the second quarter. So it's 4 yards, but it was a screen, and it looked like a screen. It looked like a real play. I'm very hopeful.
It smelled like a screen. It operated like a screen.
Yep,
Okay.
It looked like a screen should look. Number 7, shotgun, possession 5. Slightly high pass for Nick Muse, who makes the catch for a 15-yard gain on 3rd and 9 in the third quarter, play originating at the Vikings 40. Really nice catch. I love this play.
That made Mackey's notes in the big boy NFL throws department for sure.
Yep.
Where it's another one of those where, to me, like 3rd and 7 plus, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, that's why you pay quarterbacks. That's why you draft quarterbacks. Those are the downs where, even in a preseason game, everybody in the stadium knows you have to pass. The edge rushers, the defensive tackles, like, they aren't delaying a step, waiting for a run, and everyone's pinning their ears back.
Yep.
They know you have to throw the ball, and he excelled in those situations at Michigan, because they're trying to pound the run because they can at Michigan, but it didn't work out so well. JJ, now it's 3rd and 8. You got to bail us out, and that was a big boy throw right there to Nick Muse, and it was kind of a tight window because Muse wasn't a broken coverage.
It's a nice catch too,
over the middle. Yep.
Nice play by Nick. He's had a good camp. All right, number 6, under center, possession 6. In fact, 5 and 6 are going to sort of be a double album of sorts because they're very much tied together. Under center, possession 6. The busted coverage sets up a touchdown pass, 33 yards on 1st and 10 to Sherfield, who catches the ball at the 9 and walks in. Why is this not higher? Because this is a throw, I think, especially with the busted coverage, that a quarterback should make.
Yep.
Like this was just the Raiders screwed it up, and to his credit, McCarthy saw it, exploited it, took advantage. But look, just from a starting point, if he had overthrown this ball, it would have been like, that's not good. So I put it 6 because nice play, but I don't think it's top 5 on the list of what he did on Saturday.
For sure. Yep. It's Justin Jefferson was on the commentary, and he yells out a second after the ball is snapped, "We got him! We got him!"
Yep.
Busted coverage. So I think the win here is rookie quarterback playing in his first NFL game, preseason game, and immediately spots the right answer on the quiz. Didn't have to think about it or process it. It was, there's the busted coverage.
Yep.
Didn't miss it, because you do see young quarterbacks sometimes. How could you miss so and so wide open?
Or they get
right?
excited
and
throw
sail
the ball too far. Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly right. So we're now into our top five. Your hits and JJ McCarthy playing quarterback. Number 5 is possession 6, and it is the play that set up the touchdown I just talked about, and I think it was far more impressive. A perfect slant pass to Tristan Jackson for 10 yards on 4th and 1 from the Raiders 43. That set up the touchdown, and that, to me, that is now it looks simple. It's like, no, it's not. And it was, I thought that was a perfect pass, and again, showed his arm talent. So I put that 5 actually, and then the touchdown, which came next to me, is not as good a play from McCarthy as the pass to Jackson was.
Yep. You're right. His ball placement, if you will,
Yes.
on some of these throws was very high level. Because the Kevin O'Connell system has a lot of guys going across the field in between defenders, and you can't if you by the way, if you throw a ball slightly behind someone, back shoulder, and now the ball tips up in the air, it's an interception coming back. So there's pressure, there's ball placement pressure in Kevin O'Connell's system.
And that's one of the throws on the sideline that Justin Jefferson had to love. Because those are the type of plays where he makes his bones. Yes. All right, number 4. Shotgun, possession 1, first completion, but I thought it was one of his most impressive. Rush is coming. McCarthy steps up in the pocket decisively and delivers an 18-yard dart to Jalen Naylor on 1st and 10, second quarter, play originating at the Vikings 36. I don't know where to start with this one. Rookie quarterback, first game playing in the pros, steps up and boom. That's a pass where you're like, oh, okay.
Climbing the ladder up the pocket. Yeah. He seemed to have a really good sense for where and when to move for the most part, except for, I know this isn't going to make the list because it wasn't an actual throw, or maybe, I can't remember, but it was originally ruled a fumble and they reversed it. That was the only time where I felt. That's the
Sherfield one.
Yeah, okay.
But he just lost the ball.
That was the only time that I thought, oh, his inner clock was a little bit off on that. You got to step up before that.
Yeah, I think he's going to have some indecisiveness. I don't think the clock is off. I think the indecisiveness is going to be because of his athletic ability. He's going to think run, and then he's going to have the O'Connell angel on his shoulder say, no, your quarterback pass. That looked to me like he was in between what should I do?
Sure.
And he can run, which is going to be, also very helpful. Number 3, no huddle, possession 3, and I'm sure that this is in your notes as well, Phil. Play action and a big boy throw on the right side to Tristan Jackson for 21 yards from the Raiders 46 on 1st and 10. Mm-hmm. This was a big boy. This was an NFL. This was a Sunday throw. It was a great throw.
Any of these throws where it's 12, 15, 20 yards down the field, deep outbreaking routes where you're throwing, and we'll get to the other touchdown pass too. And sometimes it's opposite hash, so you're throwing the ball. It's hard to see on TV sometimes, but you're throwing the ball way further than it seems. Mm-hmm. He was impressive on a lot of outbreaking sideline routes for sure. That was one of them.
Number 2 is exactly what you just talked about, the touchdown. Under center, possession 5. Drop back and a perfect 45-yard touchdown pass to Tristan Jackson on the left side. The left side, remember, can McCarthy throw to the left side a little bit? Well, he could here. Caught in stride at the 6-yard line on 1st and 10 in the third quarter. This, to me, was huge because, one, it answered what you just talked about, which is, can he throw to that side of the field? But the other thing was, it hit. So Jackson gets credit. He beat the safety and corner. He had a step. So that's, and he had a great game. 4 catches, 100 yards, fantastic. Kudos, dude. But from the McCarthy standpoint, he hit him in stride at the 6.
From the right hash, by the way.
So there's, sing it, man. This was a great throw.
Yes. And then I think I know the one that you're ranking number 1, right? Blitzer in his face.
Yep. Under center, possession 2. Play action again. Play action, which means you're going to have to run as well. Aaron Jones, you should have been feasting your eyes in your bucket hat on the sideline. Drop back, a dart to Jackson for 24 yards. It's 2nd and 6 from the Vikings 28. We're in the second quarter, and as Phil just said, McCarthy gets smoked on the throw. Absolutely smoked. Hangs in there without a shadow of a doubt, has a quick enough delivery to deliver the football, and on the next play, we get the first touchdown from Wongwu on his 48-yard run. So
beautiful handoff for him.
So there's a theme here, though. There's a theme here. We're setting up, JJ McCarthy making big-time plays, and in the series, if not the next play, you got a touchdown. I think this was the most impressive thing, though, because he took the hit, delivered the ball. We didn't get him writhing on the ground. He got up and made the next play.
Yeah, and it's one thing if you get smoked blindside or whatever, you don't see it coming, you stand in there. You're still tough as nails. But this was A-gap pressure right in his face. And he could have hesitated. He could have dodged and tried to extend the play with his legs. But he saw the receiver and the timing of the route breaking open, and he decided, I'll take this, whatever it was, 250-pound defender, all you can eat. And that's something Thoris talked about too, where if you watch his tape at Michigan, he's pretty unflinching in those situations, and you have to be, because 5 or 6 times a game, the right throw is going to require that you hang in there for the extra beat while somebody knocks your ass to the ground.
Hockey player. He played the sport.
Yeah.
That dude's been checked. Like you could tell, that dude's been checked.
Yeah. I'm gonna need an adult beverage after that ranking, Joe. Why don't you tell us where can I get something with a red tint, perhaps something refreshing?
I'm glad that you asked, because Sports Dad has a new beer, and I'm going to tell you right now that beer is delicious, and it's brewed by our friends at Padregs Brewing, who make beer that very simply tastes like beer. Oh, I like to hear that sound. A local craft brewery recreating Irish and UK classics as well as some of their own innovative beers. As Phil just said, the red is fantastic. They've also got session beers, so if you don't want something like the red, they have a wide variety. It is great. If you actually want to go see their brewery, it is in the old Lando Nod factory at the corner of Broadway and Central Avenues in Northeast. They've got a patio. They've got music. But they also are available in a bunch of local liquor stores in the metro. I picked mine up now at Lund's Byerly's in SLP. Phil, yours comes from where?
1010 Washington is where I grabbed. They were doing like a sampling a few weeks ago.
So Padregs, check them out. And then, as always with Sports Dad, to know that you are following Sports Dad, I would like you to show us your cans. That's right. We're back with that at Jay Zolgad at Score North. A beautiful can, a beautiful beer. We are very happy to have Padregs on board for the football season.
I want to give you guys some edge rusher takes here in a moment, but a couple other things. So Roku TV has jumped on board Purple Daily. You see the fresh intro on the YouTube version of the show. Roku is America's #1 TV streaming platform. I am a Roku devotee over the last, 8 years or so. The menu offers everything you could want, all of the different apps and platforms, premium TV to live news and sports. Roku.com to learn more or shop at a retailer near you. Also, the new Roku Pro Series 4K TV automatically adjusts your shows and sporting events with Smart Picture Max. Again, that's Roku.com to learn more or shop at a retailer near you. You can also just win a Roku TV, a 75-inch Roku Pro Series 4K TV right now on the Score North app. Nearly an $1,800 value. You can register now in the Score North app under Listener Rewards. Better TV for everyone with Roku. And later on this week, the Minnesota Renaissance Festival kicks off August 17th through September 29th. Weekends. It's open weekends for like a month and a half and Labor Day. You can throw axes, wield swords, watch live armored combat jousting, hang out with actual real Vikings or people dressed up as Vikings. I'm not 100% sure. We'll check on that.
Who knows?
Go to the Renaissance Festival and find out for yourself. You can enjoy tasty turkey legs, Nordic meatballs, pork belly, burnt ends, beer and wine, 16 stages of entertainment, and a huge marketplace, plus things to do for the family, over 50 games, rides, and attractions. Discounted tickets at RenaissanceFest.com. That's RenaissanceFest.com. And we're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to the Ren Fest on the Score North app. Listener Rewards, Score North app. It's free to download. Your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. So, okay, real quick on edge rushers, because I feel like we've been obviously so JJ McCarthy heavy here, all the excitement of what we saw on Saturday. And throughout the week, we're definitely going to be getting into non-JJ McCarthy things. Don't worry. I know there's people that want deep dives on other things, but just real quick here. After watching training camp and then seeing something we talked about in a practice manifest in an actual game on Saturday. I don't think people understand how much better this edge rusher room is compared to a year ago. Like, the headline continues to be nationally that, Vikings lose Danielle Hunter. How could they possibly glue this defense back together? And Danielle, he's probably going to have another couple really good seasons in Houston. Best of luck to him. But you've got right now, we'll start with the known commodities. Jonathan Grenard, 13 sacks last season. He comes in as your premier number one edge rusher. Andrew Van Ginkel had the 8th highest edge rusher grade of any edge in the NFL last year, according to Pro Football Focus, and fits perfectly in that Brian Flores system. They work together in Miami. Dallas Turner has looked fine in practice, but you can't really sack the quarterback or really get after it in practice. Man, he put that left tackle in the spin cycle twice, one for a pressure, one for a sack. You saw the Dallas Turner vision in that first preseason game. Gabriel Murphy, who's been flashing in the practices, hasn't played or practiced in a few days, but he was the premier UDFA edge rusher available from UCLA. And then Bo Richter, who I told you guys a week ago, who's this 98 in practice that's just getting after it in some of these individual drills? He had the same number of pressures last season in college as Dallas Turner did, but he played for Air Force, so he didn't get talked about as much. He also had the 4th highest pass rush grade of any player in college football, and he initially was credited with 2 sacks on Saturday. One got turned into a TFL, but he flashed big time. I mean, they just had, and I haven't even mentioned Andre Carter and Jihad Ward is a veteran, and Patrick Jones. There's just a lot of really interesting dudes in that edge rusher room right now, and I think it's a far better collection than a year ago.
So I looked this up, at least from a height and weight comparison. I hesitate to draw this comp, but I think the Vikings probably internally have, so why not? Dallas Turner, they're Micah Parsons.
There's some physical similarities.
Physically similar. They're very physically similar. And I think we and just because of the personnel that he had, Flores was forced to do this. But we've been watching, and he's been great, Danielle, for so long, right? And how Zimmer used in a 4-3 the edge guys who, of course, had a hand in the dirt every time. But I'm guessing in Flores' perfect world, this is far more skewed, especially when you see the physical makeup now. Grenard, Van Ginkel, Turner. They're not these massive men. They've got speed, and I mean Turner's got speed, twitch, all of that. So
twitch.
He's got twitch. He's got twitch. There's no question. Anyway, I just see in the way they're deploying him, I see some definite. To me, it's way more of a Dallas Turner to Micah Parsons comp than how are they going to use Dallas Turner like Danielle was used?
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. No, it's just there's a lot of talent here, and I think there's a chance that 2 UDFAs could make the 53-man roster in this position group. But I think Bo Richter is right on that line right now, and he also might be a guy that if you try to sneak him through waivers, another team, because every team is with edge rushers and quarterbacks. Yeah, every team is looking for someone, a diamond in the rough. And if he's going to put that on tape in a preseason game, and you're going to try and sneak him through waivers, another team might snag him for their 53. So there's a chance you could wind up with Grenard, Van Ginkel, Dallas Turner. I think they probably keep Ward and Patrick Jones, but then do you keep 7 edges with Gabriel Murphy and Bo Richter, or do you try and sneak one of those UDFAs through, or do you say goodbye to one of the veterans or trade one of the veterans?
If Murphy stays out, I don't know, he's been out now for a week or so. You might
IR him or something.
You can probably get him on a list, and he has no tape.
Yep.
We've seen him practice, but teams don't get to see if Gabe Murphy does not take part in the joint practices in Cleveland with the Browns this week and then does not play Saturday. I think they're going to try to probably start him on on an injured list and or just try to sneak him through, because if there's no tape, I don't think he's going to be claimed.
And the joint practices, that tape is just for the two teams practicing, right? They don't
but it's
circulate that.
But it also causes word of mouth, and then if Cleveland likes a guy, like those joint practices are teams get more from those than they ever do, in my opinion, the actual preseason game.
Hey, I know that Judd's Camp Notes is working on a 3.0 53-man roster for later on this week. So I don't want to rush the process or put him on the spot.
Can't be rushed.
But how many edge rushers do we think they're going to keep? Is it 6?
Well, you know what? I actually.
By the way, Van Ginkel can kind of be a hybrid in some ways too. You know.
Yeah. I was doing some. I went and got 2.0 yesterday because I was going to start the process today of going on to 3.0. So what did I have? Let's see.
Here, actually, you had 5. I'm looking at one of them.
5 is what they did last year. Now, but that could change if Flores decides to redo the construction based on personnel.
See, so like you had initially, this is before, training camp here, but Andre Carter, I would put Andre Carter below Murphy and Richter right now.
I don't think he is really impressing, to be honest with you.
And then Grenard, Turner, Van Ginkel, Jihad Ward. Now, also, Jihad Ward's interesting in that he can move to the inside in passing situations. Mm-hmm. So could you kick out one of your interior defensive linemen with that count, knowing that you might be using Jihad Ward and or Patrick Jones on the interior for certain third downs or must pass situations? I don't know. This is a good problem to have, though, because last year it was Danielle Hunter and a bunch of random dudes who didn't make an impact. Yeah. Or in the case of Davenport, couldn't stay on the field.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. On Judd's 53 2.0, Andre Carter made it. He's not going to this time around. He'll be replaced. The only question is by whom.
Spoiler alert.
The only question is by whom. No, I'm not telling you who it's going to be. There's going to be some changes.
You gave us.
There's going to be some definite defensive changes. I don't know how much the offense is going to change. And I think we have a pretty good read on O'Connell and his tendencies. Mm-hmm. Defensively, I think we could see some surprising position groupings.
Hey, real quick, I just want to buzz through before we say goodbye the PFF grades from this game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Presented by Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Federated is like having an NFL pocket, it's actually like having a Michigan pocket against a directional school,
really
because
clean.
They're going to provide big time frontline protection for your business. They're all about elevating your business through risk management and through protection. And Federated's roots go back to 1904 in Owatonna, Minnesota. They are one of us, so to speak. You can find out more about the tools, resources, and people that can help your business at federatedinsurance.com. Federated Mutual Insurance Company, where it's our business to protect yours. So I'll give you some highlights here. The highest graded players for the Vikings in this game, according to PFF, were David Quessenberry, 24 snaps, offensive tackle.
Played a ton with he played on the second line with McCarthy at quarterback.
Jalen Naylor had a great game. Tristan Jackson, and then JJ McCarthy was the 4th highest graded player.
Nice.
Sam Darnold, by the way, 6th highest graded. This is just offense. 6th highest graded offensive player. So he was great on that first drive, and then things kind of fizzled in the red zone, whatever. At the bottom of the offense list, Brian O'Neill was the worst graded offensive player for the Vikings in this one. Wouldn't worry too much about that.
Yeah.
Ty Chandler, who whiffed on a couple. There was one play where Ty Chandler crashed into Sam Darnold while he was completing a pass off base.
He
in
tripped
the pocket.
him.
Yeah, it was bad. And then like Trey Knox, Jeshaun Jones, Lucky Jackson in this mix. On the defensive side of the ball, the worst graded player was actually Theo Jackson.
Yeah, he was in on that touchdown where there was clear confusion. I'm not that concerned about him.
Played 49 snaps in that game. Just out there.
Yeah, that's not great, but his training camp has been so good that I don't think that that's going to be held against him in some like roster construction sort of way.
The other worst graded players on defense were Jaquelin Roy, Byron Murphy Jr., Cam Bynum, Brian Asamoah, and Patrick Jones. At the top of the list, middle linebacker Dallas Gant was the highest graded player for the Vikings. 3 tackles,
Yeah,
a pressure.
Yep, he's not gonna make it.
Bo Richter
Yep.
was the number 2 highest graded player. 2 pressures, a sack,
Yep.
3 tackles, 4 stop tackles as well.
Mm-hmm.
Big game for him. I would say Owen Porter is another guy to watch. Another edge rusher, UDFA. Interesting name. And then Levi Drake Rodriguez was in the mix here with Andre Carter among the highest graded defensive players.
The 2 guys who impressed me from a motor standpoint, Richter and Levi Drake Rodriguez. My God, that dude is like they
John
promised.
Randall face paint too.
They
man.
promised us this. Like they're like, this dude. He's there. He's at the building. First guy there at 5 in the morning, brewing a pot of coffee. But it's been true. I mean, that guy. In practices, he gets a chance with the first team, and you notice him. He is forcing you to take notice of Levi Drake Rodriguez.
Do you keep him too, man? That's another. He was a 7th rounder, so we're talking about UDFA's. He's a 7th rounder, but
here's my question: is Jaquelin Roy, who I had high hopes for going into camp, is he a lock? But he is a draft pick. He's higher
a 5th
draft
rounder, right?
He's a 5th rounder, so he's higher than. But he has not really done much to wow me in training camp either.
Yeah. So, there might be some trade candidates in here. They might be able to get a. I mean, Lewis Seen played 27 snaps.
Yeah, that was.
They were showcasing him early in the game.
Yep.
Good for Lou.
It was suggested to me by somebody that, and this is not an inside source, but it was suggested to me that Patrick Jones possibly
As a trade candidate?
as a trade chip.
Yeah, well, we just went through the crunch. If you love Bo Richter and Gabriel Murphy, and both are going to be on your 53, and Jihad Ward is your big 6'2", 260-pound, he can switch to the inside, then yeah, maybe you make a move there.
Draft pick, maybe 6th-round pick.
Well,
I mean, I will take draft picks. They need them, so I would take them.
Yep. Amen. All right, tonight, night practice. We'll both be out there for the night practice, and then we'll give you full Judd's camp notes tomorrow, a 53-man roster projection 3.0 coming this week. We've got Thursday back in the mix with our guy Thor Nystrom. So Purple Daily, strap in. This is the place to be. Daily Vikings entertainment, daily camp notes.
All the throws broken down.
Throwing all of the throws ranked, categorized, and we'll see you guys tomorrow here. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. Saturday was a great start.